It is 2024. Gone are the days of major announcements at E3 press conferences and big reveals in magazine cover stories. Now, publishers and developers announce news of their games via polished live stream presentations. This format is not new. Nintendo premiered its first Direct in 2011.
Direct video news feeds designed just for you.
Today I want to take a look at the pros and cons of this format, using the latest presentations from Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox as examples. No matter the different approaches each company uses, they all share a common goal: selling viewers games and/or hardware. So how do these companies present information about games in a compelling way that people want to watch? In other words, a way that does not feel like an infomercial.
Enough corn dogs to feed a small army.
Let's start by looking at Xbox's most recent Developer Direct from January 17th, 2024. As the name suggests, developers were the stars of this presentation, with many of them talking to the camera, in addition to the expected clips of gameplay and cinematics. Another notable element: this 48-minute presentation features only 5 games. The intent is a good one. By showing fewer games, you give developers more time to make an impression. And showing the people who work on these massive games for years of their lives humanizes them. I might not play their games, but it can still be interesting to hear about different elements of production.
By contrasting the vibrant with the dull, or verdant spaces with sickly ones, we can better deliver complex emotional experiences for our players.
The best speakers are personable and engaging, which can be difficult given the corporate-controlled nature of the presentation. When something feels too much like a speech or sales pitch instead of someone talking, they lose my interest. I much prefer authentic moments like this,
which are all things that we purchased in order to add to the soundtrack and expand the game and make it really good. Hi, Dan. That's Dan. We started in his basement.
A nearly 50-minute runtime is great if you're interested in a couple of the games shown. If you're not interested, then those 50 minutes are going to feel a lot longer. In comparison, Nintendo featured 29 games in their 27-minute Direct from last September, with most trailers coming in under 2 minutes. The variety and faster pace increase the chances of people finding multiple games they're interested in, without having to sit through lengthy segments they don't care about. Nintendo favors pace over depth in these presentations. Nintendo Directs often feature executives who guide the audience through the presentation. This one is led by Shinya Takahashi. If you look up Takahashi, you'll see that he's been working at Nintendo since 1989 and is credited on over 200 games. To say the least, he's credible when it comes to talking about Nintendo, but none of that experience comes through in the Direct. Now, I'm not saying that every Nintendo Direct should be a Takahashi-centric event, but I'd be much more interested in hearing his opinion about Splatoon 3 rather than hearing recycled PR talking points. At their best, Nintendo Directs leave viewers wanting to see and know more about their games and hardware. PlayStation's January 31st State of Play falls somewhere between the two, featuring 17 games in 42 minutes with a handful of developers and executives addressing viewers. The 12-minute Kojima portion aside, most of the other games were shown for less than 2 minutes. The best part of watching these presentations live is the anticipation. It's exciting to see what game's coming up next, at the same time as hundreds of thousands of other people and a chat moving way too fast to read. The live element is the only reason I'd sit through 40 minutes of informative commercials. When I miss one of these events live, I pick and choose what interests me from moments broken out into separate videos. It's not the same, it doesn't feel as big. Even though the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest have in many ways taken the place of E3 as the stages for major live announcements, developers and publishers are still going to rely on their own presentations as a way to entice and inform consumers about their products, in part because they have total control over the presentation. At the end of the day, the goal of these presentations is to sell products. And as evidenced by the thousands upon thousands of tweets, videos reacting to every single one of these events, they obviously work at garnering attention. They make these games and products feel bigger than if you just read about them in a press release. So let me know what you think about these presentations. Do you enjoy them, dislike them? And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.